What's the difference between a bond and a trader? A bond matures. Okay. Well, I guess that kind of refers to the most traders just keep doing the same thing, and they say trying to do the same thing with different results. Anyway, that's set to go with our YouTubers. Our YouTube family is growing over there. What corner is the money today? It's a little early to figure that out, I think. You know, the markets had their pullback. It wasn't anything devastating. And Friday, the gap down was bought. So technically that was pretty much what was going to happen. And they tried to rally it. We'll go through the charts, and, you know, initially it failed and they came back. So we had green bars at the end of the day, Friday. Now, today, I think kind of tells the story as to how much follow through or the lack thereof there is. But to me, looking at the charts, for the most part, that's typical. Norm, it's okay. It's finally starting to pull back. They were at resistance and so on and so forth. This was a bit of a surprise, the depth of retracement back in the bond market after this breakdown, which after going sideways, you know, for a couple of weeks, threatening to break out, it breaks to the downside. And then last week, it's like, no, we're going right back up. So now, at this point, can it go sideways or does it go right up? So I know there's going to be some sellers here, and we've got a nice weekly reversal. So it's a scenario where I look at this and say, other than maybe an intraday trade, I think it's best to stand aside, because this is not the best sell setup, but could definitely work. And it just needs a little bit more watching to see if this deteriorates a little more. This is a bullish reversal bar, which suggests bonds can go up, which means yields are going to go down. And then we got back to, hey, that yield curve thing that was lurking, potentially inverting back in the end of last year, and got the markets rolling over with the, you know, China tariffs and China's economy slowing down and all of that stuff that's been making the markets nervous. So anyway, this is something we're going to want to keep an eye on to see if these bonds prices are going to continue to break out higher. So I'll just set an alert and let the computer watch that. Let's just start here. So there was, you know, four down days, gap down under the 200 MA. Oh my God, went through the red line, and then it came back up again. It couldn't regain the red line, but it's right there. And this is suggestive that any buyers stepped up. Typical pullback within an uptrend, except this time it's got an M top up there, not a V top, right? V top pullback. V top and a little building of support. M top, or rounding kind of a top. So some more distribution going on over here. And that occurred at price resistance, not in the middle of nowhere, right? This one was at the 200, but what was to the left there? I don't think there was too much. So now this goes back up after making this pullback. The question is, can we get a lower high to short? That might take a couple of days. We'll see if it goes sideways. We're not getting a gap up here of any significance where it could have been a gap and crap and then a measured move to the downside. We don't have that going on. So, you know, it's just kind of hanging here. It's up a little bit. It's got some resistance over here. We'll kind of play it by ear and see what individual stocks do versus, what the broader markets may present as an opportunity. Bigger gap down in the Qs, and they rallied up from there. And they got room to move up, and they should test the 200 there. There's a bottoming tail bar. So let's see. That would be what I would think would be the obvious place where sellers would show up if this moved to the downside. I'll use the word serious, meaning, this was the start of it. There's more supply coming. And if there is, this isn't going to get deep very far into this retracement here. So same as the red bar here that we see on bonds. And if we were to see a complete reversal like that in the Qs, this whole correction of lower prices would have to be reevaluated. But, we're not even close to anything like that yet, but just that would be something we might be thinking about later in the week if that shapes up that way. Deeper correction here, M top, lower high, M top. So these M tops can happen in different ways. And as we look at them, and we see this one, lower high. Sometimes they actually come up, and I call that like a little bonus when you have an M top, because it looks like, oh, it's going higher, right? Higher highs, higher lows, and then it fails. And these M tops have to happen after shallow retracements. And then sometimes they get up here, sometimes they don't, but this is broke and it went under here. And yes, Tony. So M top is a short-term sell signal. And like everything that we do here at Master Trader, that's one part of the setup or the strategy. The next part is, does it happen in an area or location where there is obvious sellers? And while it's not perfect over here, lined up, this market is leading lower. So there is a reference point. You've got the 200 there. And, if we look at the Qs, and that's why we do the intermarket analysis part, especially on indices, one market can affect another. So the Qs are at a more significant area of resistance. The SPYs are at a more significant area of resistance. The transports are at a significant area of resistance and actually making a lower high. And it looks a lot clearer on the weekly chart. You absolutely can do a directional options play. Now it's already moved. So now you're going to pay up for it versus, look, if I was going to short this pattern, it's going to be up here. So, and I probably would have covered part of the position on the gap down on Friday. If I'm not mistaken, I think Dan had a position in this, or he'll explain when he comes on. That was done in the room. He'll explain. I don't want to confuse anyone. But for shorting, right, so Dan's confirming, yes, the 1, 2, 3 continuation pattern. So generally, anytime you want to put on a position, a short position, you want to put it on near the resistance area, not far away from it. At this point, you need to see either a continuation pattern or a retracement pattern, and you can put on a directional trade. But see, this one from here has a nice clean void below. Now, let's assume this retraces a bit. Now you're going to have new support that was created, that wasn't there. So now when it retraces, because of this initial break, it should go through it, but it opens up the potential for a W bottom. So we look at charts as technical traders, and we say, this is what it is today, right? So this is what I've already explained. This is what it is today. Last week, right, we explained this is what it is today. And based on that pattern, it's a 1, 2, 3 continuation down. Let's put on a bearish trade based on what it is today and that moment in time. Now we have a different picture. Do I want a directional trade now? No, it's too far away. Might it keep going down? Yes. But if I'm already in a position, I've got, the house money to play with, so to speak. Other than that, maybe it can retrace up to the 20, and then I could put on a new position. And then from there, my concern, I always have a concern, meaning I'm objectively looking at what could stop prices if they start to roll over from here, stop them from going here. Well, this new swing low. Let's assume that it does that. So step by step, you're in here, Tony. You're going to hear Dan or myself say exactly what's going on here and explaining it and what's happening. Thing is, none of us know for sure the future, how it's going to unfold. So we know different patterns, and then we wait to see what is and look to get on board at the appropriate time. And we looked at the transports. Q's too late. No, it's not too late. So look, our internals gave us a sell signal up here, right? We don't know where this is going to end, but I can tell you the internals are not lined up for a buy setup. So this is the beginning. We're going to see what the reactions are today, what news there are, how markets react to news. Just based on our method, this says there's enough gas in the tank because option traders still haven't started loading up on put options. Breadth has gotten to an extreme, but that's not enough for a signal. That doesn't mean it won't bounce a little bit, but it's not a signal where you have breadth and sentiment aligned. You can short it, but if are you shorting it as a swing trade? You're shorting it as an intraday trade. I mean, as an intraday trade, I could almost guarantee you there's going to find out. No, you can't short it here as a swing trade. No, it's down at a little support. It's down multiple days in a row. Now you have to wait. You have to wait. You can wait for a setup on the hourly time frame to chop around and start. This is now going up. All right. So now let's assume it comes up into this area here. And from there, you see it start churning, and you see this picture on the hourly chart. Short it. This is how we use multiple time frames. We gain a bias from here. And with that bias, we can zero in on a pattern on a smaller time frame. We can share size it based on the daily time frame and then manage it from the daily, but be able to zero in on an entry point from a smaller time frame. Master Trader Technical Strategies. Take the course. You haven't listened to it again and again and again. Okay, let's get through this so I can get Dan on here because I'm running late. S&Ps stabilizing here. Longs are going to try and give it a try to see if they can get through that level. Qs, same story. Let's see what they can do. Dow, weaker. Something's weak in the Dow. Oh, Boeing, right? Boeing had that news. So maybe that's going to weigh on the Dow. Bonds we looked at coming up there. Gold had that. It's bottomed out here. The weekly came down hard. Looks like it's going to try and retrace. And oil looks like it's going higher. And these energy ETFs got whacked on Friday. But oil and even gasoline, UGA, had bullish reversals. So I'm looking to see if the ETFs can now get themselves turned around. What's the symbol? It's not XOP. That's not it. XES works. See, corrective action. So we don't have the alignment there between these ETFs. So because of the strength in oil and gasoline, I'm keeping an eye on these to see if they can actually turn around. So maybe this was just, market related, and we'll see if oil and gas pop up, whether that can get these stocks to get turned around. So that's it for me. All yours, Dan. Sorry it took so long.
Hey, good morning, folks. And we don't have as many gappers today anyway, but let's look at opens real quick. Hey, well done, everyone. All right, triple B, we're short stock. It looks great under Thursday's low to add. Cron, we have a put spread, and we move the stop to Friday's low. NUE, we still have a third lot. We're trailing short stock. And Netflix, we have a bear call credit spread. It's bouncing here, but no adjustments necessary. KHC, we're short stock. We've lowered the stop. Tyson, we have long stock on the 1, 2, 3 on Thursday, retraced Friday, but nothing to do. Lulu, nice, beautiful bear gap from Head and Shoulders. And we have a call spread on that. And I'm watching that to short the stock also for directional, because that looks great on all time frames. And what else? We're fairly light. Yeah, that's it for the swing and option trader. In the weekly, we only have that Netflix and Crown. Yeah. But yeah, I did a video just going over a bunch of our trades, and yeah, it's easy when you nail your entry. There was just so many. When I looked at all the closed trades last week, I didn't know we were that active. But yeah, we had 12 closed trades in the weekly options trader, and I mean, look, that's just a no-brainer. Bearish 1, 2, 3, M top, price void, and go through the video. Yeah, that's on the credit spreads, 11 for 12. We had a couple stop outs on the directionals, but we also had some huge wins on directionals too. Look at LRCX, was a no-brainer. That's when you just got to hit the mouse. You enter, manage in between. All right, gappers here. Apple. We bought the breakout here. We had a covered call and a put spread, which were both profitable with our trailing stops. Now it's a pretty deep bullish gap. That could be a 30-minute high. SPR getting whacked here, $88. Maybe day trade. Still has a price void. It's kind of an excessive gap, but it still looks lower. I'll put that here. In the video, it's a mess. But, maybe Iron Condor candidate has a lot of resistance, fun support. We looked at this one Friday. GLBS doubling here, gap up, nothing to do. Lily getting whacked. 123, that could be a day trade short. 119, that's a massive gap to all-time highs. Boeing, wow. Yeah, this is what's obviously dragging down the Dow today. Wow, that's pain. I'm going to be watching that. So it's 371. That's right into this gap fill. Wow. Yeah, I'll definitely be watching that. And with bearish news, particularly this one, killing people, plane crashes, that so that's why it's getting punished here. But what I was going to say was, on news like that, a gap like that, the volatility is going to be off the chart. You know, so we'll see if it can stabilize and sell a Friday put spread if and when it sets up. Here's a few left over from Friday when we did scanning: DTE, AWK, YUM, strong, PLNT, LYV. Now, some of these I put in the letter, like this one, for example, they're only going to trigger if it's strong. So this one, I said it had to go over Wednesday's high. And if so, it should go higher. AGN, I had as a 1, 2, 3. For a put spread. VMC, here's another one that it has to get over these highs. And then it's a breakout daily, weekly. Kellogg had as a short. And it's shaping up beautifully. Little gap down here. If this just goes sideways, it'll be an ideal 30-minute low trade. Lulu, we talked about. Newer. I like this also as a bear call credit spread under Friday's low. This thing, GME, let it set up. Here's another one, Echo Alpha, put spread candidate over Friday's high. FND, I like Friday's close here. You know, maybe 30-minute high. Mr. Big had nice earnings, and Costco on Friday. Both of those were strong. Dollar Tree had its earnings run. Marijuana stocks. I read in the journal today that there's an article about the marijuana beverages, and the article was saying how horrible it tastes. Like slimy grass or urine. They were just saying, so that's their biggest challenge. Oh, and also because they said the cannabis oil doesn't blend with water, of course. And then it has to go through your liver. So it takes over an hour for you to feel the effects of it. But they'll have their hands, you know, let their labs work on that. All right, XAR, we're in this in our ETF trader. Another beautiful 1, 2, 3. Look at that, just no brainer. It had a weaker bounce here for the M top retest. I'll put that in a window so we can cover a third. Yeah, just 5-minute bar. I'm gonna, you know, look to cover. Cron actually popping right here. Well, that's just a 5-minute pop. Nothing to get excited about. Opens. Let's see if we have any problems. NUE flat. Apple here. That's acting very bullish. And market holding, but you know, how aggressive do you want to be? Do you want to start buying things at 9:33 on a Monday? I'd say maybe let's give it 10 minutes here. And then Apple looks great for a day trade. See if we can get a put spread for Friday. Looks like Kellogg might have hit. Our Lulu fine, Tyson, nothing to do. Echo Alpha if it triggers. No, Echo Alpha has to take out Friday's high. NUE, we're just in trail mode. So now it made a lower low, so I'm just going to move the stop right here. And maybe give it, you know, another nickel. But Gustav, you know, if you wanted to nibble, as long as it's holding intraday support. What did Gustav do this time? Amazon. Yeah, I mean, depending on where you got on board. Google, we have a put spread, so that one triggered. That was over Friday's high. Let's see though if we got the credit. Look at Facebook strong. And there goes Apple. And it's bringing up the cues. Let's see if we can get a put spread here on Apple right here at 172-ish. Hey, LaDon, I have a quiz for you. All right, 172.50s. They're only 52 cents on Apple for Friday. I think we'll just day trade it. So UGA, LaDon, this is gasoline. We put that in our ETF trader and it gapped over the entry. So LaDon, is UGA, is it subject to contango? All right, we covered a third of our XAR right here. GDX looks higher, but subject to we'll talk about it later. Contango. All right, look at Boeing right here at the 200 and the gap fill with a bottoming tail. That might be interesting. I'll like it better after 30 minutes. Wow, these are juicy as expected. Wow. We could do the 330s. Well, you got to go wide though, because they're all so expensive. 330, 310 is midpoint 55. But that's another $45 lower. You know what? We might even be able to day trade these things because they are jacked right now. The low is 365. Even if we did a 340, I mean, even $40 wide, 340, 300 is a $1.23. Wow. Like if some of our hedge funds said, hey, you know, Dan and Greg, you can get me into, you know, give me 30,000 more shares of this, I would be selling at the money puts right now. Yeah, I don't even care what the number is. They are jacked right now, trust me. With that gap down and bad news. All right, AGN triggered. Let's see if we're getting the desired credit now. $141, $135. Midpoint right now is 38 cents. I said due for a limit of 50. But, you know, I'll watch that. I'll pull back. But that looks great for a day trade even too. 30-minute high. And Google, I wanted the 1120, 1110. Yeah, nice out on our IWM short. Markets are holding here. Which Friday's close suggested a bounce, so 1120, 1110 is only 75 cents now. Wow, and they closed for $1.35. So, you know, that's not going to get filled. So that was that one. This is this one. So the price of the stock triggered, but we aren't getting the desired credit. So what are your choices? You decide if it's worth a lower credit or not as a new trade, or you do nothing and see if we get filled on a retracement. Yeah, people are stepping up for Boeing right here, and that's a logical place. All right, our AWK hit. Echo Alpha is getting close, or maybe it did just trigger there. Yep. And that was this one. And we also have one for 2 weeks out with further strikes. So that's totally up to you. For this Friday though, 95.89. $0.46. And I wanted 55. Our Cron coming back in. Wow, those pot stocks are crazy. All right, we'll just leave EA alone. It looks like it might come back in. Yeah, midpoint 50 cents now. XAR, we closed a third right at the dead low down there. Okay, C is fine. We've lowered the stop. NUV is fine. Transports, we covered a third. That's in the ETF letter. And we had it as a bear call credit spread. Here's another no-brainer one I talked about in the letter, in the video. Look, rounding top, bear gap, sideways, engulfing, price void. Diamond's weaker, obviously, because of Boeing again. IWM kind of stalled already. The Qs and the spiders are the best intraday. And they look higher until they stall.
Dan, did you see HLF for a possible put call, credit spread? So it's shaping up as a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I might have looked at that Friday, and I think it was too spready or no juice, one or the other. Yeah, it's spreading. Yeah, that was the problem. And no juice. 55.5 is 14 by 28. So that's 50% spread. All right, so the Echo Alpha should have hit the 55 cents now. Hey, Gustav. I noticed, you know, how we trade news. So back to Boeing. Look, that, you know, you got to see how the news is, you know, affecting their company. And then we also look at how it affects competitors. And, you know, they're talking about Southwest having a bear gap down also because of they own a bunch of those same planes. I think Apple 30 minutes, that's 948. It's holding well. Yeah, Ladon, it looks good. It looks good. Oh, wow. Yeah, Apple's the best looking long fang today to me. Ladon, I love that spreadsheet. You mean, well, just email me what you're asking for. All right, so we had an EA spread also in the advisory letter. All right, Apple, IWM and spiders have stalled. Let's give it a few minutes, but this Apple's one of the best things I've found. Oh, all right, thanks. Yep, with that little pullback. Yep, so we didn't chase it. Perfect. No, don't ever kick yourself. You know, there's an intelligent pattern and entry and fear, and you had a nice 5 and 15. You had the bottoming tail, but you have more than I have. On those gappers, sometimes you got to be aggressive, and Look, right over this 15-minute high would have been, that's where you could have gone to full size, LaDon. Look, that's your pattern. Downtrend, new low, bottoming tail, took out this pivot sideways. That was the entry. Very nice. Do you still want it to be live? What, we're live now? I don't, no, we don't. And our KHC, we can now move stop over this. Well, yesterday's high, Friday's high. Yeah, I mean, yeah, good job there. That was beautiful. Darn it. See, so now I messed up. That was a beautiful 15-minute high entry. Perfect, perfect. Apple market still going, IWM actually popping. So your stop really has to be the day's low if you do Apple. I would like it better if it just went sideways for a couple hours and then we bought an afternoon breakout. But the daily and weekly look great. This is now a downside shakeout. I'm not worried about that prior tail anymore because of Friday's close and the gap up. All right, thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, I told Greg. AWK. Hey, trader, remember we found this scanning? Yeah, I like it, LaDon. Yeah, I mean the pattern's great. Yeah, I like it as a day trade. The put spread, it's not that juicy. The Google, we didn't get our credit, but that looks good. Yeah, I like Apple. Oh, the entry's under 5408. So this looks great. Kellogg looks fantastic. Look, it's a bearish 5-minute chart. It's a bearish daily. That's another no-brainer trade. I'd like it a little bit better, if it didn't have this tail over here, but this has been working on negating it. AWK, yeah, looks higher. The weekly's extended, but I like this action the last 3 weeks, starting with this bottoming tail. like LSCC, but I remember LSCC. I was talking to Debbie one day about it when we were scanning. Yeah, Robert, it is. I know it's time consuming. Sean, yeah, LSCC looks great. I like it. Yeah, it's extended, but this action negating the red bar, bullish sideways, relative strength to the markets. I like it. You can buy it right here, stop low. There's Apple, look at that. There's not one red bar on the 5-minute chart today from the market open. Look at Costco here basing like a champ on the 15-minute chart. Wow. Wow, that's strength too. For a day trade, you can buy that too. That looks great right here. You can buy that for a day trade, stop low or stop under this wide range bar. So it's, $2 and change.